Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one, and the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline, and if there's anything that isn't quite working for you, anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you individually. Today's video is about the skill of learning to use the right tool for the job in meditation. If you're anything like me, then you will come to meditation in a whole host of different states of mind. Maybe one day you might be tired, another day you might be frustrated, another day you might be distracted or worried or anxious. And so how do we know which type of meditation to use at any given time? There's a real skill to this, and what I've seen is that a lot of meditators tend to power on through with the same tool day after day after day, even when on some days it really might not be the right tool for the job. In this regard, I want to give you a quick simile, and the simile is that we are trying to make a Buddha statue out of wood. We're trying to carve a beautiful Buddha statue out of wood. We start with a great big chunk of wood, and when we have this great big chunk of wood, what we want to do is we take a fairly coarse chisel and we hack away at the most coarse corners of the wood. We get it roughly person shaped, and then once we've done that, we take a finer chisel and we start to carve in some of the details, the arms and the legs. When we've got it looking a bit more something resembling a person, then we take an even finer chisel and we start to put in some of the details, maybe the fingers and the nose and some of the details of the robe maybe. When we've got it looking a bit more like a Buddha, then we can take a really fine tool for the finer details, like the eyes, for example, the fingernails, the nose, the things that really need detail and refinement. And when it's looking really good, then we can take some sandpaper and then maybe a polishing cloth and shine it up really nice and shiny. Now, if we were to go at that great big lump of wood that we started off with, and we were to go at it with a polishing cloth, we would be there for a really, really long time trying to make it into a Buddha statue. Likewise, if we went at that big chunk of wood with a really fine chisel, we'd be wasting a lot of time. And the same is true for our meditation. If we come to meditation with a really coarse mind full of states of craving and aversion, and we go in with a really subtle, refined meditation technique, we're going to waste a lot of time. So, how do we know which tool to use for the job? Well, here we want to choose a meditation subject that's just a little bit more subtle than where our mind is at. So if we come to meditation and we realize that we're very distracted, maybe very anxious, maybe we're full of states of craving, then we can go in with a meditation subject that's relatively coarse. If we notice that we come to meditation, our mind is already really refined, then we can go in with something that's more subtle. Now here we've got a spectrum. At the most coarse end of our practice, we need to be considering things like our morality, our ethical conduct, our right speech. If these things aren't at all refined, then the mind that we come to meditation with is likely to be rough. At a slightly more subtle level, we need to be considering things like our sense restraint and our peacefulness throughout the day. Then we can work on things like our loving kindness, our basic attitude of acceptance. We can work with slightly more coarse tools like mantras, using words, using counting in our meditation. We can get onto some more refined techniques like working with the breath, maybe working with the body. More refined meditations, even still working with kasenas, maybe 4 elements meditation. And then we have the polishing cloth techniques, things like the jhanas and the advanced stages of vipassana. So, please don't use the wrong tool for the job in meditation. Please don't go in with a polishing cloth when what you really need is a coarse chisel. There's no skill in doing that. We want to work with where we are at. Now, if you're not sure what the right tool for the job is for you, and it's something that you want to discuss, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you individually. There's a remainderless ending of all suffering, so let's not waste time using the wrong tool for the job. Let's have a bunch of tools in our meditation toolkit and we can know when to pull them out at the right time. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis, so I encourage you to support me either through my website or through Patreon. You can find out about how to do that just underneath this video. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.